Hello everyone and welcome to another live stream. It's been a while since I've done one of these, but been a bit down with the cold and flu for a little while, and it's made my voice go a bit janky, so I'm still recovering, but able to talk enough to get one of these done. So hang on, just give me a second while I just set things up here. Make sure I can see what everybody's saying. Hope you can all hear me okay. There we go. Sorry, just setting up my phone so I can see what people are saying. Why is it not rotating? There we go. Okay, now we started. Hello everybody, welcome to everybody who's popping in. We have a few people watching, which is nice, and oh, even Jesus has come along to watch, so that's always nice. Welcome, Jesus. Okay, so yeah, about 2/3 of the way through the next episode, I guess you could say. And just sort of keep plugging away at these animations. So don't worry, that is Sarge on the ground, but he's not dead. And as you can see from the animation, he's gonna get up. So that's all good. So this is I guess you could call it a raw animation, which is just coming straight from iClone, and it's a little rough around the edges. If I play that down, you'll see that he's got some bits that are poking through other bits, and I think his gun's going to pass through his leg. There we go, a couple of times, and the motion's a little bit jerky. It's not too bad, but there are definitely a lot of places where it needs cleaning up. So that's what the first thing I'm going to do. Well, actually, maybe the first thing I'll do is just set up our camera as well, so that we can see what we're looking at in terms of the performance. So, I just want to say thanks for everybody's patience in waiting for these episodes. I mean, I know they do take a little while to come out, but they do take a little while to make, to be fair. I want to try and produce as good a quality as I can for you guys to watch, so I'd like to put a little bit of time into it and make sure it's all looking good. It's great to have you on board, Jesus. Glad you could make the time for us. So I'm just going to try a little camera crane here. Let's pull back a little bit. Okay, so I might just slow down that movement a little bit. Oh, actually might need even to speed it up. Sorry, I get caught up in what I'm doing. I forget I'm supposed to be talking as well. So yeah, you can see there an example of the kind of cleanup that needs to be done. This gun is passing through the ground. His other hand over here is not even on the ground. I don't know even what his thumb's doing there. Excuse me. But yeah, that's where we're going to go into the keyframes, and we might as well start doing that now. Game Breaker Entertainment. How long is this episode going to be? I think it's currently coming in about 6 or 7 minutes. So it's yeah, it's a decent length. It's one of the bigger ones in terms of really tried to. They're not showing up in this particular shot, but really tried to create an environment with an actual population. So there's quite a decent amount of townsfolk in this one, which we'll see when it comes out. Oh, thank you, Alan. Alan. Is that Alan over there? No, he's right here. Alan says he thought it was an animation studio making these, but nope, just me. Just me and Callum and Dallas providing the voices. That's it. And yeah, we want to keep this going as long as people are watching it, really, because we have fun making them, and you guys obviously have fun watching them. So here's where we're going to try and make sure his gun doesn't pass through the ground too much. It's awkward because they're kind of an odd shape, these guns. They've got bits sticking out all over them. What planet is this on? That's a very good question. I guess it could be Tatooine or something similar. It's kind of Tatooine-ish. There's moisture evaporators on it. I get kind of torn between wanting to do something that's completely different in terms of a planetary environment that we haven't seen before, and also making sure it still stays Star Wars-y, like instantly recognizable as Star Wars. So yeah, I think I might try and do at least one planet that's completely out there, because you know it's a big galaxy after all, and there's going to be lots of different environments. They're not all going to be desert planets. What kind of environments might people want to see if I was to try something completely different? So what I'm just working on here is the keyframing of his gun so it doesn't pass through the ground like it is right now. And that's by just twisting his wrist. So that's better. A forest or lava planet. Yep, we've seen both of those though, haven't we? We've seen a forest planet, we've seen a lava planet. It's just like something completely different. We've seen an ice planet. Oh my god, what about a planet with more than one biome? There's a groundbreaking concept. Hello there, TK244. So now what's happening is his pauldron or his armor is poking through his pauldron. So we also have to also have to drag the pauldron onto the timeline, and we're going to keyframe that as well, because even though it's joined to the shoulder, it's quite a large, ungainly thing, and it does have to be a bit careful that it's not intercutting with a whole bunch of different things, like his whole arm goes through it there. This is a tricky position, actually. Dentooine, yeah, that's a good idea. We've never seen Dentooine. We've heard of it, but we've never actually seen it. Oh, sorry, Epsilon. Wasn't meaning to have a go. I was just sort of more thinking aloud to myself. But yes, what's that? So, water planet or something on board a Star Destroyer? Yep, we haven't seen a little bit on board life of stormtroopers, but we could always stand to see more. That's something that hasn't really come up very much. What is happening with this pauldron at the moment? It's all over the place. How long did it take me to make that trooper? This is interesting at the moment in the sense that I haven't made any of these troopers. All these troopers that you've ever seen have been purchased from online 3D sites and made by other people. What I have done here is separated the components out to use in iClone and Character Creator, which are 3D animation software programs, because I got a lot of complaints about bendy pauldrons and pieces of armor flexing in unrealistic ways, and you know, fair enough. It does distract from the story sometimes if things aren't moving the way they should do. So I've actually separated these armors out, and the pauldrons are completely separate. So no more flexy pauldrons, no more bendy pauldrons. But it does mean that I have to come in a little bit more like this and keyframe things. But you know, it does add to the realism. Things move in a more realistic way. So I think it's worth it. How much caffeine? Sorry, scrolling back a little bit. How much caffeine do I consume? Not as much as you'd think. Not as much as you think. Sorry, I'm wandering away from the microphone there. Not as much as you'd think. So yeah, so that pauldron's looking a lot better now. I mean, it is such a big thing that I think in real life it would flex and bend in weird ways. It's just slightly passing through the arm there, so we'll get that. And then he's up, and when he's standing up it's quite easy because it just kind of stays where it is. So now let's have a look at the other hand. So our plans, generally, for this series, and these are very rough plans, I mean nothing is set in concrete at all, is that this current year would take us to the end of Empire Strikes Back in terms of the chronology, and the following year would take us through Return of the Jedi, and yes, they would visit Endor. You know, we can't have Stormtroopers and not have an Endor episode. And then sorry, I still keep wandering away from the microphone, and then want to try something different. And if you guys are still interested by that point, and if we still have the energy, we'd like to do an actual, I mean it sounds incredibly ambitious, but an actual feature-length animation with these guys set after the war and what happens to them after that. and we've got a I think we've got a really great story in mind for it. We've already got a concept, so we'll keep you posted about that. Because it's like, what does a grunt stormtrooper do after the war is finished? And how do we make that interesting and compelling? So I'm going to have to come back and fix that thumb. It almost looks like his hand's upside down. Hey, Zack Ryder. Welcome on board. So I'm just going to come in and fix that thumb now. So I just want to take this opportunity to remind everybody about a few different things that we've got going that can help you to support the channel. We've got the Patreon, of course, but if you're a little lower on cash, we also have super thanks and super chats, which you can partake in, straight away on this live stream. We have super thanks on every single video, which you can click on as well. We also have a merchandise store, which I must link a few more times because I tend to forget it exists after a while. Oh, no worries, Zach. Yeah, you did a great job. Zach provided the voices of all the stormtroopers in the break room in the Tentive 4 episode, so that was really helpful. So this is one of the trickiest things about animation, is trying to make it look like people are actually in contact with something, because as you can see on his left hand there, it's just passing through the floor, and I want to try and not make it look like that, make it look like it's in solid contact with something, but also that he's actually pushing himself up on it. And that's yeah, that's keyframing and a little bit of trial and error. Do I use Constraints Manager? I don't actually know what that is. What is Constraints Manager? I'm actually very very new to 3D animation. I don't consider myself a 3D animator at all, so I feel like a bit of a fraud sometimes. So now we have to go finger by finger, and as I say, make it look as though his fingers are in contact with the ground. Thank you, Dan Otaku, Dan Otaku, very kind of you to say. Yeah, this is going to take me a while, so I'll come back to the fingers later and the hand, because that's something that's going to take a bit of fiddling, and you don't you guys probably don't want to watch me fiddle around with fingers for the rest of the afternoon, so I'll just move on to his head, and because you can see his helmet's passing through the floor there. Ooh, jeez, that looks uncomfortable. Ah, somehow I've made it worse. I think it's probably his neck that I need. Yeah, that's better. Trouble is, you see the neck is actually also attached to the pauldron, so then that starts to change. What I can do is something that's a bit cheaty, but I can actually move everything up, and if you looked at it from another angle it would probably look very unnatural. But for a brief few frames we'll get away with it, and oh god, everything's been thrown out now. And now the pauldron's all out of whack again. You see how this works. I mean, there may be actual 3D animators out there watching this and thinking, oh my god, why is he doing it like that? That is so inefficient, and I would probably completely agree with you if I discovered a better way of doing this. But this is how I've taught myself, I guess. So now I have to come back and fix the pauldron. Just for those few frames where it starts to break through. It's such a big unwieldy thing, oh my god. I don't think I'm going to have him wearing this every single episode because it's so awkward. See, it's busting right through his arm there again. Oops, that wasn't right. Still just coming through just a little bit. Okay, once again, better, not perfect, but better, and that's something I'll come back and clean up properly later. So let's save. And let's just work on the camera a little bit more. Excuse me. So maybe just pull out and rotate around a bit. So yeah, just a little bit of camera motion can add quite a bit of energy to a scene. Or if not energy, it just makes it look a bit more filmic. Because in big budget films it's very rare, I think, that the camera's always completely standing still. They've always got a little bit of glide going on, it seems. And in Unreal it's so easy to do, so why not? Is there RP going on in the chat? RP in the chat. Oh yes, that's obviously I haven't put any animation on our rear trooper yet, so they're just in the default position, but I'll get to them. Have the orange pauldron fall off and some scavenger steals it. It's tempting, honestly, because this pauldron has been a bit of a pain in the butt. But it's fine. It's only when we're doing extreme moves like this, once he's just standing around and talking, it's absolutely fine. Has everyone seen Spider-Verse? I saw Spider-Verse the other night, and oh my god, the animation is it just blew my mind. The artistry of it was so beautiful. I mean, yeah, I look at that and I feel like, you know, doing the Wayne's World "we're not worthy" meme. It literally is a work of art. Okay, probably going to call that a day, guys. Just a brief sampler there of what's coming up. Excuse me. Yeah, my voice is also starting to crack up again, so I can't keep talking too much longer. But once again, if you would like to support the channel, even if you don't have, if you're monetarily challenged, what you can do is put on a video and just leave it playing in the background and just let it roll onto the next video, and then the next video and the next video, as long as it's all like from our channel. The YouTube algorithm really loves that, because it shows that somebody is interested in our channel because they keep watching continuous videos through it, and it helps to boost us in the search results in general. So if you have no cash but you still like to support the channel, just have it playing in the background even if you're not watching it. It's actually really helpful and helps to boost the algorithm. But of course, we also have the super thanks, the super chats, donations, channel memberships, and Patreon. So yeah, it all helps, and it all helps to keep us fed and able to do this as much as we'd like to. So thank you everyone for tuning in. And oh, hello Brave Pair. Sorry, you've come in right at the end. But yes, now my voice is back, or getting back to normal. I'm going to try and do this a little bit more. So hopefully we'll catch you again soon. And but in the meantime, yeah, thanks for tuning in.